According to brand new polling, Donald Trump has a sizable lead against Joe Biden in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video. Today, it is time that we talk about the 2024 presidential election. Because everyone, we have new polling data out of the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that shows that Donald Trump is beating Joe Biden in the Commonwealth by several points. And the numbers, when you look at them, are absolutely stunning. And they show that we really are in the middle of a great coalition realignment. Traditionally, Democrat voters shifting Republican, or at least towards Trump. Traditionally, Republican voters shifting towards Biden. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Guys, just for $1 a month, you could join Real American. This is the best way to support the daily content that we all know and love. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. Alright, everybody. Now let me be clear. We are still only in 2023. And this can absolutely change. But the numbers Biden are getting with some of these groups are just downright awful. And same thing with Trump, but when you delve into what's happening with the coalitions, it might not be that crazy after all. But let's just get into it because it definitely was stunning, some of the results we saw. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, this comes from Richard Barris. He's a fake pollster. You could say that he was wrong in 2022. Fine. But guess what? 2020, he was spot on. 2021, I believe he did pull Virginia. He was accurate, I believe. I could be wrong, but I do believe he pulled in 2021. He was just spot on in 2020. Everybody was wrong in 2022. Just stop this crap where Democrat pollsters get 50 mistakes before somebody calls out their bull crap. But one conservative-leaning pollster, they get one election wrong and, oh my god, he fakes his numbers. I can assure everybody that while the numbers might have been bad in 2022, though they're actually being overstated, whatever, he doesn't fake his numbers. He tries his best to get the accurate results. And now, he has this map here that shows every single respondent to the poll and how they voted. You could see exactly this Democrat voted for Biden or will vote for Biden. This Republican, or this red one, is going to vote for Trump. And it tells you all the demographics. That's what I'm trying to tell people, that just because he was off in 2022, I should say, that doesn't mean he's faking his numbers. That's just a cope. People are just mad because he's actually ahead of the curve of many things. Remember, he was the only one to predict the Hispanic and African American shift we've seen this year. And now every poll has the same numbers as him. But let's just get into it. Donald Trump leads Joe Biden in the critical battleground state of Pennsylvania, according to the Keystone State poll for November 2023. Yeah, and this was a survey conducted by Big Data across the Rust Belt. You know, Ohio, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. So this is a Rust Belt poll, but he's releasing one at a time. And the first one is obviously Pennsylvania. The former president holds a massive 50-point lead over the 2024 Republican primary field for the presidential nomination at 60.8%. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis trail significantly in a statistical tie, 9.7 and 9.5%. I mean, that's bad. You're not even in second. I mean, it's a tie, but still. DeSantis, you're tied with Haley in Pennsylvania? Dude. Just dude. I know there's a lot of, like, quote-unquote Republicans that live in the state, but dude, you're seriously tied with Haley in Pennsylvania? Kind of sad. Respectively. Businessman Vivek Ramaswamy rounds out the top 4 candidates at 6.2%. No other candidate breaks 5%. In other words, Trump is beating the living crap out of DeSantis and Haley. The state of Pennsylvania among primary voters is not at all competitive for either of the two major parties, Big Data Poll director Rich Bear said. But the former president's supporters are dug in, and he's leading the current president in a rematch in all the right places and among all the right demographics. And there's stuff about, how Biden has challengers from Williamson and Phillips. So the funny thing is, though, despite Biden being the incumbent president, he's actually polling only 5 points better than Trump in the state, primary-wise. For those that don't know, that's not good. And I know Pennsylvania is not a predictive indicator for the general for primary, but you're the incumbent president. You should not be only at 66% when your candidates are Dean Phillips and Maureen Williamson. President Biden is far ahead in the primary, and I wouldn't expect an ups in the Keystone State anytime soon, Mr. Barris added. But the lack of firmness in his support is concerning for Dems less than a year out from the general election. And that's the big thing. You barely got 2/3 of support despite being the incumbent president that is supposedly beloved in his party, with some challengers, but not like Ted Kennedy types, It's like Dean Phillips. They combined for 4%, but there's a large chunk of Republicans, or I should say Democrats in this case, that are just skeptical of Biden. And that reflects in this poll. But in my opinion, the biggest data point from the primary, which I'm going to show you right now, is the Trump or bust vote. Look at this. All right, Republican presidential nomination. Look at this. Just under 70% of Trump primary voters say they cannot be persuaded to change their mind for the general election, or the primary at least. 70%. Look at Nikki Haley. Only 16% cannot be persuaded. DeSantis, 17%. Ramaswamy, 20%. That's what I'm saying, folks. This is a big problem for whoever the nominee is except Trump. And Trump's going to be the nominee, barring something crazy happening. 70% of his voters say they will only vote for Trump in the primary. Do you just think that those voters will suddenly flip in the general? Some of them might. But the Trump or bust vote is real. These voters, they're only going to vote for Trump. Why is this so complicated? The Trump or bust vote is real. They're not going to vote for Nikki Haley in the primary, possibly not even the general. When you got 70% saying they won't vote for anybody but Trump in the primary, that's 100% going to correlate, at least some part, into the general. You cannot win without just say 25% of Trump voters. They say they're not going to vote for Nikki Haley in the general. Just an example. With Trump voters being that large share of the electorate, you're screwed. So that's one part of the poll that I found fascinating. That the Trump or bust vote is just out of this world. I mean, I never thought it would be this big, but here we are. Mr. Biden continues to lead with older voters aged 65 to 74, 46 to 35, but trails among super seniors, 75 plus, 43 to 38, which is absolutely stunning. Older voters are shifting Democrat. They just are. I don't get why people are just stunned by this at this point. For those that don't know, the older voters of now are not the older voters when Bush ran for president. It's been 20 years. Those old voters from 2004, they're dead. Why is this some stunning thing? Trump is doing so much worse with seniors than Bush did. Because guess what? The seniors Bush won, the majority of them grew up in World War II during the Great Depression. Not all of them, but a decent chunk of them. Now, the seniors, They grew up during the Vietnam War. They were part of the hippie movement. A chunk of them, again. These are two completely separate groups of old voters. One grew up they were part of the hippie movement. The other one, large chunk of them probably fought in World War II. Just saying. And that's why there is such a big shift towards Biden. These are now your seniors of 2004. In a stunning development that is in line with prior results in other surveys, Mr. Trump leads with every single other age group. That includes the largest age group in the electorate, 50 to 64-year-olds, by 45% to 37%. And this is a thing a lot of people just cannot grasp. All right, let's look at age. Biden versus Trump. I mean, this is just stunning. Trump is leading with every single age group, including 18 to 29. But to be fair, all right, people got to understand, the reason that this is happening is Biden is just getting crushed with another third-party candidate for young voters. Young voters are voting for somebody else. Not Biden, not necessarily Trump. But Trump is still doing better with young voters. He's not going to probably win the 18 to 29 vote just with how many are undecided. But the fact Biden, who is the president of the United States and part of the Democrat Party, can't even crack 30% with his core voter base, but doing better with old voters. That's not good. I don't think I need to tell you that that is a disaster waiting to happen for Biden. If he's doing that poorly with his core voters, and sure, he can make it up with old voters, but if it's a high turnout election and let's say Trump continues to do this good with every other age group, those older voters are suddenly not going to be as important if it was a low turnout midterm, for example. Worth noting, voters who participated in the 2020 presidential election told Big Data Poll they voted for Mr. Biden by 50.2% to 47%, very close to the actual results. Trump now leads with this group by 1.3%. However, among non-2020 voters, he leads by a massive 17.5%. Holy crap. Really? Let's see here. I voted in 2020. Holy smokes. And that's what's happening. Those that did not vote in the 2020 presidential election, they're breaking for Trump. And I know there's a lot of undecideds, fine. But even those that voted in 2020, guess what? They're breaking for Trump. And this is why the theory that high turnout elections might benefit Republicans more than Democrats now, this is why it's kind of true. Trump is polling better with those that didn't vote in 2020, and he's doing better in registered voter polls. Not so much likely voter screens, let me pull this up, likely voters. Yeah, he's winning unlikely voters by 28 points. Again, a lot of undecideds and whatnot, but still, he's still getting 30%. Biden's only getting 12 of unlikely voters. That's what's driving this theory that I think is being proven more by the day. But either way, folks, this poll is just, I didn't realize that he's winning unlikely voters by that much. He's winning non-2020 voters that much. But it's part of the shift we're seeing. Voters that are less likely to vote, they're shifting Republican. Those that voted every single election, like old voters, they're shifting towards Biden. We saw this a little bit in 2022, and funny enough, we're seeing this actually in 2023 with all the specials, with the Kentucky election, everything. But either way, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Thank you so much. Godspeed to all of you.